Okay, so as I said, guys, it's been a really huge start to 2016. I've just got off the phone to the corporate team here in Australia, and whilst most other businesses are still sleeping, while most other businesses have their doors closed, while most other network marketers are reeling from their commission checks going down over Christmas, all the Jeunesse distributors are having record weeks. They're having a record December, a record January, and they just informed me that we are on track, not just to beat, but to completely smash through the best month Australia has ever had in sales in Jeunesse history, January 2016. So things just keep getting better and better. If you look at Ted Newton's blog post today, Jeunesse is still the number one company in momentum for about the 24th month in a row. Not that we take Ted's algorithm too seriously, but it's always good to see that. Fastest growing company in the world. You saw that Jeunesse was officially dubbed a $1 billion company at the end of 2015, doing $1.1 billion in sales for the 12-month period, putting Jeunesse as categorically the fastest DSA company ever in the history of direct sales to reach that $1 billion in annual sales. It's absolutely amazing. And for the next 12 months, you really want to market the hell out of that fact because it is pretty special. So what I want to talk to you guys about today is really what the whole basis, the whole platform, the whole foundation of how I've been able to build my business. And, most of you guys know my story, but, literally if I look back 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I was living in a one-bedroom apartment in Sydney, not even paying my monthly bills, that's for sure. Where there's a lot more month left at the end of the income than there was income. And, I was living on site at a hospital. My gym was located at the Royal Rehab Hospital in Sydney, and I used to train the really big corporate staff that worked there, as well as the general public from around the area. I didn't know where I should live in Sydney when I moved there, and so they put me up in this one-bedroom apartment where the families of the people in the hospitals used to stay for a night or two. But I lived there for 6 months because I couldn't afford much more. And nowadays, live up here in Noosa Heads in Queensland, which is my dream. Ever since I can remember having memories, I said I wanted to live in Noosa. So moved here in start of 2015. And it's everything I thought it would be, being at home with the kids, being at home with Nicole, traveling the world. But when you get to hang out in Noosa, you don't want to travel so much. So this is my house here. We've just had our second baby boy, Bo, on New Year's Eve. So that made the start of 2016 even busier. I wasn't getting a whole lot of sleep in my first year of Jeunesse because I was spending so much time building the business. Over the last year or two, I've caught up on that sleep. It's been a pretty good lifestyle, but we're back to having no sleep again with our 18-month-old Cruz deciding he doesn't want to sleep either. Either does Bo. So it's a lot of fun, but hey, I'm glad that I have the ability to have the residual income coming in, the work from home business opportunity, where at least I'm not out at work, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day. Or we have to have kids in childcare because Nick has to go back to work. So we designed that lifestyle deliberately. That wasn't a fluke. That wasn't luck. And luckily, with the Jeunesse Global opportunity, that's provided our dream to come true. And we're just getting started. We're just warming up, speaking to lots and lots of good people at the moment that have decided that Jeunesse is going to be their home for 2016. I'm hungrier than ever. I'm going to be working harder than ever to help those people to achieve what I've been able to achieve and more in half the time. Because when we started, it was very tough to build the business in our first 12 months. Now everything is streamlined. It's a great time to be involved with the Jeunesse Global opportunity. And all I've really done to do that over the last 4 years is I've just found good people. I've turned over rocks. I've looked under beds. I've looked everywhere for good people, deliberately looking for people with great attitudes, great mindsets, people that are go-getting, people that have a no excuse policy. That's the sort of people that I've been looking for, that have been looking for an opportunity and a better way to live life on their terms. And we know that we have that with Jeunesse. I've obviously enrolled them, and all I've ever done with them is the getting started training and then matched energy with energy. So the people that are really wanting to build, we speak 5, 10 times a day on the phone in the beginning, and I match that energy. I'm not someone that's going to ring you, 10 times a day to see what you're doing and where you are just because, you've gone silent. You've got to, and I was speaking to a young person the other day where they said, I'm back. Now I'm motivated. Now that I see that guy doing it, I'm going to do it. Oh, now that this incentive's on, I'm getting back into it. Now that my personal life's back on track, I'm ready to go. You can't afford to talk like that because your subconscious brain is listening to every word you say, and you can't expect to get momentum or build a big network marketing business with that sort of consistency. As soon as people say, I'm back, I'm ready now, because that person's doing it, I'm doing it, you're doomed straight away. What you need to find is that inner motivation, whether you have a good day or bad day, whether that person's doing it or not, whether anything's going wrong with your personal life or not, whether you've had 2 kids, 5 kids, no kids, 10 kids or not. You've got to have that inner motivation that you do something consistently every day, and no matter what happens, you're going to build this Jeunesse business. That's your only chance to ever make it in the big time, and that's the truth that not many people will tell you. But that's not rocket science. Just being consistent at something is not rocket science, okay? But it's harder to actually do than to work out. So I'm going to run you through this getting started training. One of my biggest frustrations 4 years into the business is that, we created this getting started training, 10 years ago. When I started with Jeunesse, I got together with 6 other leaders, with about 60 years combined experience in the industry. Actually, it's probably double that. And, we looked at the getting started training. We added some things. We took some things out. We tweaked some stuff. So this is the experience of, many, 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 many decades of experience in network marketing. And we put it together, and that's been our whole foundation of building the business. If you can't become an expert at these 15 steps, then you're never going to build a big business to anything else. It's a bit like putting your foundation down on your house. You can go and build the walls, you can go and put the pool in, you can start building the second story. I'm pretty sure as soon as there's a gust of wind, that house is going to blow over. You need to first set that foundation and build your house on top of that so it is absolutely rock solid until the end of time. And that's what this is. Network marketing gravity. If you think it's not going to happen, it doesn't matter. It is going to happen. Okay. And it's about just keeping it simple and duplicating. Okay. If you talk to all the top industry leaders in the industry, they'll say, what's your magic potion? What's your one key tip you can give me? And they'll always tell you to keep it simple. If you're telling people how to do this complicated website and SEO and Facebook ads and newspaper ad over here and do this system, they're just going to get completely overwhelmed. They're not going to get started. They're going to throw in the towel, and you're never going to be able to duplicate that business. You've got to give people a step-by-step getting started training to at least give them a chance of being successful. And it really just shows them those basic principles to set that foundation up and to see whether they have to get started and take the business all the way. And where people are number one doing this wrong right now in network marketing and in our team is that either they're not giving people this getting started training. So I'll speak to someone on my level 2 or my level 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 100, 4 months after they've joined the business, so they've never even heard of the getting started training. So I'll run through that with them. Or number 2, and a lot of our leaders, our top leaders in our team are making this fundamental mistake, is that they're giving them the getting started training in an email system. Here's step 1, here's step 2, here's step 3. Now, you think about emails are just about extinct. Emails are just about dinosaur. I mean, I used to have an email group for my network marketing downline. I haven't sent you guys an email in 2 years because all of our communication now is done via social media in our JFire International Facebook group. That's where things are seen the most, communicated the most, shared the most. That's where people see them and act on them. people's emails are so cluttered and so busy, it just gets lost in the crowd, or they don't open it, or if they do open it, they say, I'll come back to that tomorrow, and they never do. So if you think about you're giving someone an email every single day, that's just going in one ear and out the other for most people, or getting lost or spammed or clustered, and people aren't going to act on it. Or people are sending them, the link to the Getting Started training and then say, go away and do it. Massive, massive mistake. So I'm working currently right now with 10 individuals on a very personal one-on-one daily getting started accountability. And some of these people have been in the business for a few weeks. Some of these people have been in the business for a few months. Some of them have been in the business for over a year. And they've just said, hey, I've never really been taken through the Getting Started training like a workshop, like a personal trainer, like a mentor. So can you do that with me? So here's the number one thing you want to take from this webinar is it's not enough to just enroll someone. It's not enough just to give them this Getting Started training. For your people that are matching the energy, for your leaders, for people with potential, you need to workshop this with them. Okay, so you need to go through the list with them. You need to organize the launch with them. You need to get them to send you a picture of their goals. Okay, you need to work through the scripts with them. You need to workshop it. Get on the phone, get in the trenches, get your hands dirty, and actually teach your team how to get started. And if they can become an expert at these 15 steps, and then teach their team to do the same thing, your business is going to duplicate and skyrocket very, very quickly. So let me give you an example of how I do this. Yes, I'm going to run through this Getting Started training. A lot of you on this webinar have seen this 100 times, but I bet you, I'd put my house on it that I could do an exam with 99% of you and ask you 15 questions with the pass mark being 15 out of 15, and be very few people that would be able to pass the Getting Started training. Let me give you an example of that. I said to someone the other day, have you read Your First Year in Network Marketing? And they said, no. How long have you been in the business for? Been in the business for a year and a half. Well, you haven't finished the Getting Started training then, because part of the Getting Started training is reading that book, and they hadn't even ordered that book. I asked someone the other day, have you done the Getting Started training? They said, yes. I said, okay, how many cycles does it take to become an emerald? And they said, I don't know. And I said, well, you haven't done the Getting Started training. If you haven't read those books, if you haven't got your mindset ready for network marketing success, if you don't understand the pay plan back to front 100%, then you can never be a top leader in this business. And I'll go through and explain why that is. So the biggest emphasis here is to not just do the Getting Started training, but to become an expert at these 15 steps and to workshop this with your team. I hope that gets through here. That's my biggest message for you guys today. So we're going to run through the 15 steps, number 1 to 7. 1 to 7 is your 48-hour assignment. You can do all of these things in the first 48 hours. Okay, understanding what we do is very simple. Get your goals down, work out the time you can invest, get your list down, who's going to be your accountability partner, purchase your business building tools, and start thinking about your launch. Start inviting people to our webinars, 3-way calls, live events. Okay, you can do that in the first 48 hours. Okay, then the next sort of 8 steps we run through in the next 30 days. So becoming a product of the product sometimes is pretty hard in 48 hours. Might take you a month to get results. Learn your back office and pay plan. Create your scripts in your story. Learn how to handle objections, because they will come. Educate yourself on the industry. Plan and attend live events. Might not be a live event in the first 48 hours, so we make sure we do that with these in the first 30 days. Provide great service, become a leader. So let's run through all of these things. And I'm going to talk to you how I actually workshop it with my group, not just explain them. So number 1 out of the 15 steps is understanding what we do. Now, 90% of the population hates to sell and hates being sold to. So if people's perception of network marketing is sales, you're going to find it really, really hard to enroll people, because they might think this looks absolutely amazing. I love the product. I love the potential of residual income, but they don't join, and you never know why. Is because their perception is they have to sell. Okay, now we don't make commissions if product is not purchased. Correct? Now, for a product to be purchased, it has to be sold, right? So what do I mean here? Well, we're selling product, we're making commissions, people love our product, but you don't want to be a salesperson in the true sense of how we think of sales. So we think of sales as the pushy car salesman, the real estate agent. Okay, the person selling us a plasma TV at JB Hi-Fi, they are so after the close, your credit card, their commissions, and see you later. Okay, if you attack your network marketing business in that way, you will not have success. Okay, you are looking for people to partner with over the next 12 months, 5 years, 10 years plus. Find out what their goals and dreams are. Find out what kind of personality they are, what makes them tick, what's their hot buttons. And you're going to show them how you have things in common with them and how Jeunesse can help them reach their goals over the long term. You're going to sit there and work with them. And if they don't see the vision in that, that's cool. If they do, let's work together. Okay, so that is so far from trying to convince someone, that is so far from trying to sell or pitch someone that it's not funny. Okay, we want to share the information. You want to share your story. Now, you need to get really, really good at sharing your story and sharing that information. That's part of the training. The more you're able to do that, the more people will say yes to you. Okay, so understanding what we do is really important for yourself, but also for you to communicate this to your team and the person you're sitting across the table from, because they're just not going to want to join a sales company. So number one, you can tick that one off. You can explain to that someone in the first 5 minutes of the getting started training. They understand it, they feel relieved, and now they're even more excited because they don't have to be a salesperson, right? So we tick off number one. Number two, your goals. Okay, so what I do with people with this is I don't just say go and do your goals. Okay, fundamental mistake that everyone is making here, because most people will not go and do it for whatever reason, right? I've given up on trying to work out why. It is just the fact that we are human beings, and human beings are crazy, complicated creatures, and we will just do crazy stuff. One of them will be, we'll get told to go and do something, we won't do it. And look, I'm one of those. When I was younger, I got told to do this 1,000 times a year on every webinar and any seminar and every time I spoke to my mentor, but I never did it. I never wrote down my goals and pinned them up on the wall. I had them in my head, and as he explained to me, that's a fairy tale, that's a daydream. You know, if it's not written down and pinned up, it's not exactly a goal. You're just wishing your life away. So what I do is I get people to take a photo of their goals pinned up on a wall. Okay, a picture of their vision board pinned up on their wall, because that actually makes them do it. You know, they can't just tell me they've done it or don't tell me anything. They actually have to send me a photo that makes them do it, and then it's evidence that they've done it. And it's so powerful. So here's what you want to do with your goals. Firstly, you need to have them. If you don't have them, you're in big, big trouble. I would go and get some or borrow someone else's. So you need to be crystal clear with what those goals are. I was so clear on where I was going at the age of 20, it wasn't funny. I knew exactly what my dream house in Noosa looked like. I could tell you the street where I wanted to live. I could tell you what the upstairs section looked like, how the pool would look. I could tell you exactly what that house smelt like. I could tell you the noises of the birds, the crickets, all the things that I could hear sitting out on the balcony on a beautiful, warm, balmy 25-degree night in the middle of winter, sucking on a red wine. I could tell you exactly how that felt and how that looked, and the emotions attached with that. I could tell you everything about every goal that I wanted to achieve. It was crystal clear in my head. So then I wrote that down on a piece of paper and I made it real. Then I pinned that up somewhere where I could see it all the time, every single day. Becomes more and more powerful. It starts to sink into your subconscious. Now, if you want to take it another step level, what you want to do is read out those goals every single day. Read them out aloud every single day. But here's the trick. If you guys really want to get productive in 2016, do this. And again, maybe you should get your team to prove that they've done this, because I don't do that. I just get them to send a photo, because again, they probably won't go and do this next step just because we're human beings. But it's very, very powerful. So what you want to do, your goal for 2016 might be to be a diamond in Jeunesse, right? So you're going to write down on that bit of paper Jeunesse Diamond, December 2016. Pin it up. A time frame is really important for your goals. I was speaking to a girl the other day that had a goal to be Ruby, but with no time frame. I said, well, it won't happen. Unless you time frame that, you won't have the urgency to create that, and you'll be flim-flamming around everywhere in the dark. Put a time frame on every single one of your goals. Extremely important. But what you want to do is you want to read that goal out loud every day as if you've already achieved it. Okay, let me give you an example. You want to be diamond in December 2016. So you write down on that bit of paper, diamond, December 2016. Do not read out, I will be a diamond in December 2016. Do not read that out loud like that, because your conscious brain is hearing, yep, that's cool, I'm going to achieve that. Your subconscious brain is very smart, very cheeky, very cunning, and very calculating. And your subconscious brain controls your conscience. So your subconscious brain, all it hears is, I'm not currently a diamond. That's all it hears. I'm actually not a diamond right now. And so it'll bring that about. It'll bring more of the fact that you're not a diamond. So you'll have the confidence of not being a diamond. You'll have the posture of not being a diamond. You'll speak like you're not a diamond. Okay, you want to say this out loud every single day. I am a diamond. It feels absolutely incredible to have reached the top of my compensation plan in Jeunesse. It feels amazing. The income that I receive every single month, every single week from being a Jeunesse diamond is everything I've always dreamed it would be. The diamond pool was an incredible source of extra income for me. I love going on the diamond trips with all the other diamonds. I love the respect you get from being a diamond. And I love that we're now living in our dream house and I'm driving my dream car because I got to diamond in 2016. It just feels amazing. Can you see the difference there between I will and I am? Your subconscious brain is now going, oh, I'm a diamond, cool. And all of a sudden you start strutting around like a diamond, speaking like a diamond, posturing up like a diamond. And so when you're speaking to people, that rubs off. You won't even really know that it rubs off, but it will. So you want to read out every goal that you want to achieve as if you'd already achieved it out loud. It's going to be so powerful. But let's take it a step further than that. Record yourself doing that. So get your smartphone out, hit record on your voice memos, and record yourself reading out your goals out loud as if you've already achieved them, and then listen back to that 3, 4, 5 times a day. Now, if you do this, I guarantee you will be so focused and so productive, procrastination will go out the window. It's as simple things like turning left instead of turning right. That sliding doors moment, because your subconscious brain is now in control of bringing about that future that you already know is a done deal. It's a difference between talking to that person at the bus stop and not talking to that person, which maybe is your next diamond in the team. Your subconscious brain just took control. Very, very powerful stuff. So get that done, but make sure you get your team to send through proof of doing this when you're workshopping the Getting Started training with them. Okay, what time can you invest? So again, this is one where people just go, I don't know, maybe 15 hours a week. Not good enough answer. You need to literally sit down and go, okay, here's my kids' time, here's my family time, here's my work, here's my business, here's my social, here's my exercise. That leaves me with 23 hours a week that I can literally put into this business if I go to bed at this time and I get up at this time. Okay, so you need to literally work out an actual figure down to the last minute of what time you can put into this business. Okay, then we match up that answer with your goals. So if your goals are to be a diamond in December 2016 and you can put in 3 hours a week, okay, when we're workshopping this with your team, I'm probably going to suggest that is not going to align. Unless you are an absolute genius and you've done network marketing for 40 years, you're probably still not going to go diamond in 3 hours a week. But, we want to match up your time realistically with what your goals are. And I'm the sort of person, when people read out their goals, I don't tell anybody that anything is not possible, because anything is possible. I've seen people go diamond in 30 days. Now, the fine print on that is that they've been doing network marketing for a very, very long time. Bring a team over with them and hit the road running. But anything is possible. So think big, aim high, whatever the biggest goals you can conceive are, write them down. But nothing's going to beat results like putting time into your business. It is a business. You will get out of it what you put into it. But with your team, make sure they do this exercise and actually work out down to the last minute how much time they can invest, and make sure they tell that to you, and make sure they send you a picture of their goals so you can align those two. So now we're 48 hours after that initial phone call. Remember, we've got them on board. You've given them the getting started training. You've given them the 48-hour assignment. So now we're 48 hours down the track. We're going through this stuff with them. Okay, now you're going through their list. So you've instructed them 48 hours earlier that you want a list of 100 names. Okay, tell people 100, because if you tell them 50, they're going to come back with 30. Okay, if their first 10 people say no, they're just about out of the business because they've got 20 people to call left, all right? If you tell them 100, they're probably going to come back with 60. If the first 10 people say no, it doesn't matter so much. So tell them to aim for 100 people. You want them to highlight the top entrepreneurial people that they know on that list, and they're the people that we're going to start with. We're not going to start with mum and dad, brother, sister, best friend if they're the skeptical, cynical type of people, because that could be the end of your prospects or your new distributor's network marketing career when their dad tells them not to do it. Okay, so we're going to aim for the most open-minded, go-getting people on that list that they know. All right, and then we're going to start talking about how to invite them to the best platform, what's best for them. All right, talk to them about what rotten apples are, people that we want to leave behind, and let them know there are people like that out in the world. So when it does happen to them, which it will, they're okay because you've told them that will happen. So run through that list with them and start talking about how we're going to invite them and do the launch. Accountability partner, so that could be you and your upline, you and your downline. It could be their husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, best mate, whatever. And this is really underestimated. But an accountability partner, again, remember, we're crazy human beings and we need to be kept accountable, because we will find the easy way out of everything. If we go to the gym, what do you do at the gym when you go by yourself? Be honest. You go to your favorite machine, you do your favorite weights exercises, you go, maybe half pace, 3/4 pace. You don't go to an excruciating, almost going to spew pace. If you have a personal trainer, what do they make you do? The things that are going to get you results, and they push you to the brink, don't they? Which way do you get better physical results? I think you know the answer to that. And it's the same with this. Grab yourself an accountability partner so that you say you're going to do 20 phone calls on a Monday. They say they're going to do 20. You can keep each other accountable to actually do that, and your business will grow faster. Business building tools, like it's a bit of a no-brainer. There's a DSA survey that shows that people that get business cards stay in the business with you 3 times longer, because they feel like they're in business. They feel important. They feel like they have a tool to give someone if they say, hey, what do you do? So it's worth getting people to get business cards. Okay, there's some great things like the starter kit, your J Mobile app. It's pretty hard to build the business without a phone or a computer. But there's also little things like, I coach my guys, grab yourself a time difference app. The amount of people that get time difference wrong just between Victoria and Queensland, between Perth and Adelaide, between US and Australia, between Europe. If you're going to have the vision to build a global business, get serious. Grab yourself an app where when you're calling people in America, you're not calling them at 3 a.m. Make sure you've got things like WhatsApp so you can text and communicate with people overseas through wireless for free. Maybe you need an international phone plan. Maybe you need a headset to run webinars and Zoom calls. Think about all the different business tools that you need to be a professional network marketer. Okay, now we're running through that list with people and we're starting to talk about their launch. And what I say to people with their launch, there's no wrong or right answer here. You know what your personality is. You know what the personality of your network is. Do you think it's best to run a launch in your house? Maybe we go and get a room at a hotel and run a professional business launch. Or maybe we run an online webinar because that person may have contacts all over the world and they maybe just moved to a new area. So an online launch is going to be best for them. And I get them to do the introduction and then I do the presentation. Females generally get a great result from a house party because, our girlfriends, our wives, they're very social. They've got mothers groups. They've got, they've got drop the kids off at school. So now we're friends with the mums group. They have people around to their house. Us guys, we're more hermits, aren't we? We're not really the come around to our house, have a coffee type of people. We want to go down the pub and perhaps get out of the house. So for the ladies to have 20, 30, 40 other female friends around, and we can do like an instantly ageless demonstration in front of everybody, everyone just goes, holy moly, that result is incredible. Get me a box of that stuff immediately. You do a 15, 20-minute presentation, keep it short and sharp, keep it social, keep it relaxed, not salesy, not pitchy, and that house launch can be extremely successful. Some of the girls and some of the guys prefer to go and get maybe their house is not set up or ideal for that sort of thing. Maybe their contacts are more acquaintances, but in the professional niche, and a professional presentation in a function room would go better. So everyone's a bit different on how you launch, but start thinking about that launch. Plan it out for about 4 weeks out, or anywhere between 1 and 4 weeks. It doesn't matter too much, and then start educating your new prospect now. Hey, here's how you get the link to the webinar. You want to be every single Monday night. If you don't have someone on that webinar, then your business is now a hobby. It's not a business. Here's how you find the live events, on the Facebook page. If you go to a live event and you haven't brought someone along, your business is now a hobby. If you let a week go past and you haven't done a 3-way phone call with your upline, your business is now a hobby. If you haven't spoke to at least 3 people, new people a day about Janess, your business is now a hobby. And there's people on this line right now that are going, I don't do that. Well, have a look at your commission checks, and I bet you've got some hobby income coming through. But you start to elevate how many people you speak to a day. Make sure you've got someone on the webinar every week, someone at every live event, 3-way call at least once a week. I'm talking ridiculously conservative numbers here, guys, of your business part-time ticking along nicely, growing, and your income growing, and you can get to a full-time income in the average period of time. Now, if you want to accelerate that, just accelerate everything. Have 10 people on the webinar every single Monday night. That might mean you have to invite 100. Have 10 people at a live event every single time your live event comes around. That might mean you have to invite 100. Okay, do a 3-way call with your upline every single day. Make sure your prospect and your new distributors know how to do a 3-way call, because they are so powerful. All right, so that's what you want to start doing now in the first 48 hours. Okay, so we can tick the box now and say, great, we have done the 48-hour assignment. You are now an expert at those first 7 steps. You have completed the 48-hour assignment. Over the next 30 days, we're going to work together to do the next 8. Become a product of the product. Make sure you are using the product correctly. Make sure you've taken your before and after pictures, because if someone comes up to you and says, hey, what does the night cream texture feel like? And you say to them, oh, I don't know, I don't use that. You've lost every single person ever. No one's going to buy into the product or the business opportunity unless you have first done that. If they say, hey, what's the reserve taste like? Oh, I don't know, I don't take that product. They're never going to enroll, buy that product off you. So very important that you believe in what you're doing. Not 99%, but 100%. So you need to believe 100% in our products. The only way you can do that is by using them yourself and researching the science behind it, educating yourself on exactly how it comes together and what it's doing. If you have 99% belief in our products, that 1% is going to shine out like a bright light to everybody. If you've only got 99% of belief in network marketing, 99% belief in Janess, 99% belief in your upline, you're doomed. Okay, you need to have 100% belief in everything that you're doing and become that product of the product. You can become a walking billboard for looking fantastic. Getting great results on the Zen product and losing weight, getting a great nutritional health testimonial, looking younger, getting rid of those fine lines and wrinkles, just being a walking billboard. Now you need to learn your back office and pay plan system. So you need to know how to change someone from a left team to a right team, how to sign someone up, how to check your commissions, how to check your cycles, because you need to measure these things. Once you get to Sapphire, now all you really want to be doing is checking your cycles daily. Remember this saying, write this down: whatever gets measured gets improved. And that's why if you're trying to lose weight, get on the scales, measure your stomach, do your body fat percentage, because it's accountability thing. The next time you get on there, you've got improvements, you get excited, you celebrate, you know you're getting results. It's the same with this. If your goal is to now do 100 cycles in a calendar month and you don't know how to check how many cycles you're doing, again, lucky if you haven't written down your goals, you're just walking around the room in the dark trying to find the door. If you're logging in, you're checking your cycles, you're going, yep, mathematically, I'm on target to do 100 this month. And then you set it at 200 and so forth. I had someone the other day, they just don't know about the pay plan. And so what I do with people, going back to this slide, is I again, always remember that human beings are the most complicated creatures on this planet. I mean, if we were training monkeys in network marketing, or training dogs to do network marketing, they would literally do everything that we said. Or if we had robots that we could program, they would literally just call people every day. They wouldn't get emotionally attached. They wouldn't get depressed if they got rejected. We would just program them to do 10 calls a day and they would just do it. Wouldn't that be easier for us, right? But we're not. We're dealing with human beings, and that is both frustrating and also the most rewarding thing you can ever do on the planet. And so I've come to that realization, right? And so if I say to someone, go and learn the pay plan, I just now know that 99% of people won't. Okay, that 1% of top people with a mindset will, but there's very few people like that out there. And so, yeah, again, people say, yep, I've done that. Yep, I've done the getting started training. Okay, how many cycles do you need to be an emerald? I can't remember. I'm not sure. Okay, you do not know the pay plan and you have not done the getting started training. That's how black and white you need to be, and how strict you want to be with your team on doing this getting started training as a workshop. So yesterday, I ran a pay plan exam for a person in my downline who'd been in the business for a year and a half, and her results were very, very good, but not perfect. And so again, why is this so important? Well, okay, number one is, if your goal is to reach, say, $10,000 a month in network marketing. Now, if you don't know what level in the Jeunesse business gets you $10,000 a month minimum mathematical income, then how are you ever going to get to that? And if I can tell you, okay, Ruby is 10 grand a month minimum mathematically. Great. That's awesome. That's all I need to know. I'm going to go and be a Ruby. Okay, what are your qualifications to be a Ruby? I'm not sure. Well, how are you ever going to get there? Okay, so you need to know that I need to cycle 200 times in a calendar month, and I need 2 sapphires in my business. Great. Let me create stepping stones to go and achieve those 2 things to be a Ruby. You see how much easier that is? Number 2 is, if you're speaking to entrepreneurs and their goal is to make that, and you don't know how to tell them that they can get that, then they're not going to join with you because your knowledge is not up to scratch, and they don't perceive you as a leader. And people just want to join with leaders. What if you're talking to someone from another network marketing company and they're comparing joining this company but maybe joining Jeunesse, and they ask you a question about the pay plan and you don't know the answer to it? They're going to go and join the other company because, again, they don't perceive you as being a leader. So you need to know that information if you want to go all the way. And so I run a pay plan exam with people, and I ask them, 15 questions about the compensation plan. Their pass mark is 15 out of 15. And let me tell you, that makes people go and learn it back the front. They spend hours on the website going through the PDF, going through the pay plan video, and it's awesome because they become such a better network marketer, overnight. So that's how you want to workshop that with people. Okay, create your scripts and your story. Now, how you want to do this one is, everybody knows their story better than anybody else. You know your story better than anybody. Okay? But it doesn't mean it's a powerful weapon for you yet. The amount of people that I've had up on stage to tell their story and be terrible is amazing. They go and speak for 10 minutes and everyone's fallen asleep, or they tell their story but it's not comprehensive. So you want to tell your story that's relatable to the people. Okay, so really get in and talk about those heartstring moments, So again, doing this with a person workshopping it yesterday, they were talking to me about how this was their previous job and they found network marketing and now they want to be a diamond next year. Now that's, you're not pulling at any heartstrings. No one can relate to that because no one even knows what a diamond is. And so we re-looked at it, and she knew her story, and she, the second time around, she said it fantastically. I was looking at getting ahead in life. My job wasn't getting me there. I was pretty skeptical about network marketing. Is a lot of people in the audience skeptical about network marketing? Absolutely. So now they're relating to this, but what I found was I joined network marketing. It was completely different to what I thought it was. I'm having the time of my life. It's the best thing that I've ever done. I'm already close to earning full-time income. And, one of my real passions is to retire my husband. He doesn't like his job. He works really hard. He's stressed out. Again, there's so many people in the audience, males that are stressed out would love to retire, females would love to retire. Now we're relatable. I want to spend more time with my kids, and yes, that's relatable. And you start pulling on those heartstrings. So you tell your story. The way you want to structure it is, this is where I was. Okay, so write that down. This is where I was. Okay, this is where I wanted to be. So you start to talk about, I have all these goals and dreams, but I just didn't know how to get there. This is what I found. So this is what I found out when I joined network marketing, when I found Janess. This is my results so far. So again, word that in. If it's your first month, don't say, and I've made $26 so far, which is not much, but I'm learning. Don't say that. That's not going to get anyone excited. So you might say something along the lines of, I'm already making great income. I've already got a team that's building. I'm so excited about where I'm going. It's all about how you word it. And this is where I'm going to be in 12 months' time. I'm going to be, I will have quit my job in the next 12 months. And, I'm going to travel overseas on this trip that Janess provided, et cetera, et cetera. So you're telling your story how it is, but now it's also a tool for enrolling people. So whether you're at a live event up on stage telling your story, whether it's sitting across from the table speaking to a prospect, whether you're at a networking event, and you've got your 30-second version of that story, it's what we call the elevator pitch. Make sure you've got your 2-minute version and your 30-second version down packed. The only way to do that is to write it down and practice saying that out loud to somebody. Okay, 30-second version and 2-minute version. So again, I workshopped this with this lady yesterday, and by the time she'd said it 2 or 3 times to me, she had it down packed. And by the time she said her last one, now I was curious and interested in joining her opportunity as well, because I could relate to so many things that she said, and I found them really interesting and quite cool. So you can really use that as a tool, because people will join you for your story, especially in the beginning. So I used to say, when I get up on stage, I say, hey, I was in traditional business. I was working 100 hours a week. Where I wanted to be was in Noosa, sitting on the beach making $1 million. I found Janess, best thing I've ever done. I've enrolled 130 people, turned into 100,000 people in 91 countries, live up in Noosa now. Life is great. My goal for this year is to be double diamond and create 6 new diamonds in my business. So, I'd love you to be one of them. That's a short version, but that would be my story. When I started out, I didn't have $1 to my name. I didn't have an enrollment to my name. So my story was, hey, right now I'm working in my gym in Sydney. I own 2 gyms. I've dabbled in so many different entrepreneurial activities, had some successes, some not. I'm completely over what I do, so I've lost the passion for it. However, I've just joined this new business with Janess, and I will guarantee you right now, I will swear on my child's life that I will be out of this business within the next 9 months, because my income will have replaced that. I'll be living in Noosa in 3 years from now as a millionaire, living the life on my terms. Are you on board with that journey? Because you can grab onto my coattails, and I'm going to run with you, and whatever your dreams are, let's achieve them together. Are you in or you're out? So that was my story to somebody on day one. And the reason people joined me was because of my story and my vision. And of course, it comes down to how you say that with some real posture and confidence. Okay, so workshop that with your team. Handling objections, we've got lots of trainings on this, scripts and audios and everything, so listen to those. Just educate your team member that they will happen. Okay, the biggest education I give my guys nowadays is that you can get rid of 90% of objections by, number one, believing in everything yourself 100%. Like I said, if you've got 1% doubt in it, then whatever those doubts are, you'll portray them across to your prospect sitting across the table for them. So if you think that this is a bit of a pyramid scheme, I guarantee you that person's going to ask you, is it a pyramid scheme? If you think the prices are too expensive, I guarantee you that person's going to say, oh, the prices are a bit expensive. So number one way to get rid of objections is for you to believe in everything 100%, because they will not pick up on that and they will not ask those questions. Number two is speak to the right people. Remember point 1 on my second slide, find good people. And if they don't join Janess or aren't good at Janess, doesn't mean they're not a good person. right? It just means they're not good for Jeunesse and your business right now. You can go and have a beer with them later and talk about other things. But find good people for Jeunesse, okay? Go-getters, business people, entrepreneurs, other networkers, party planners, salespeople, people with the right attitude. Okay, so if you find good people, you will never get crappy excuses. So an entrepreneur with the right mindset will never ever it can't even come out of their mouth. It's not in their vocabulary. They can never say I don't have time, because entrepreneurs do not believe in that. Can you imagine Donald Trump finding the best deal of his life and saying, oh, I just don't have time? Can you imagine Richard Branson just saying, oh, I just don't have time? Geez, I wish I had more time. They don't think like that. So you need to first not think like that, and then find people that also think like that. Okay, it all comes down to priorities. People know that if they see some value in it, they'll find time for it. Okay, entrepreneurs know that network marketing is a great business model and it's booming right now. So they're not going to ask you the stupid pyramid question. They're always got time for it. They're not going to say, I don't have the money. Even if they're completely broke and their bank account is minus $66, they're not going to say, I don't have the money. Number one, probably because they're too proud to say that, because they've got posture and a great mindset. But number two, they're going to go and find a way to make that happen. So when I started in Jeunesse, I didn't have the money for an ambassador pack. I didn't have the time to build another business, but I made those two things happen because I had the right mindset. So if you speak to the right people, if you speak to people in the right way, if you have 100% belief, you will get rid of 99% of all objections. But you will still get some, so you need to understand how to handle them. So again, yesterday with this lady, I workshopped and we went through a few and said, how would you answer this? Then I told her how I would answer it, and we did some coaching on that. So you want to be running through that with your people as well. Industry knowledge and personal growth. So again, this comes back to that example where I say to people, have you done your getting started training? Yes, I have, Aaron. I did that in my first month. Okay, great. What did you think of the book, Your First Year in Network Marketing? Oh, I haven't read that one. You haven't done the getting started training. Your foundation is not laid. The cement is still wet. I know you've tried to lay it, but you've missed the corner. Okay, you haven't let it dry. You need to take this so literally, right? Otherwise, your house is going to fall over. Your business is going to fall over. It's going to be very wobbly as soon as a bit of wind picks up. All right. So these books here, these audios, I just think that they may not even be the best 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They may not even be the best 8. But just take this getting started training as a literal thing and go and buy every single one of these. And there's thousands of other ones out there. Go and get them later and read them as well. I mean, there's hardly a book or an audio I haven't listened to or read on this industry, because I knew one fundamental rule of success that I learned from Matt Morris was, if you want to be the top of your pay plan, or let's even think about anything that we're doing, right? Weight loss, relationships, career. You need to be an expert in that area. And so if I wanted to be a top network marketer, I needed to be an expert at network marketing, which means I needed to go read the textbooks of network marketing. If you want to lose weight, yeah, it's great to maybe have a personal trainer and a mentor like we do in network marketing, but go and educate yourself on weight loss, the foods, the exercise, all the different routines around that, even mindset for weight loss. If you want to be the best husband, father, brother, mother, you can research books on how to be a better partner, understanding females, understanding males. We're very different, but we can understand each other. We can get along better. Being a CEO of your business, going all the way with your career, you need to be an expert and know absolutely everything, more than that other lawyer knows about law, and you will go to the top. Why is network marketing any different? So straight away, 7 Secrets to 7 Figures, mattmorris.com. You can go onto that website, put your name and email address in there, and download that audio for free. None of this stuff takes any extra time, right? Because you can get every single one of these books on an audio. If you're driving your car to pick your kids up from school, driving to an appointment, driving to work, you can listen to that audio on the way. You should never be driving your car, if you're serious about network marketing, listening to the radio. What a complete waste of time. What a complete waste of 7 weeks for the average person to spend in their car every year listening to the radio. Listening to all the sad stuff about the news and how shitty the world is. Listening to those crappy songs that are putting bad messages into our kids' heads. Go and listen to a personal development audio and have the best hour in the car, and you've rocked up to work pumped and developed. All right? You can do this while you're doing a workout. Doing this, there's no extra time needed. These are free or just a few dollars to buy. So just Google them, go onto Amazon, whatever, grab the audio, grab the book, and get them read in your first 30 days. And I guarantee you're going to be a 10 times better network marketer after the 30 days than if you haven't read them. Again, that is, you have to tick that one off to finish the Getting Started training. Okay, hopefully a live event turns up in your area in the first 7 days of your new business. If not, it's certainly going to within the first 30 days. So we make sure we send our new person along to those events because that's where they're going to get most excited and get most of the information, meet all the leaders in the business. It's fundamentally important for them to rub shoulders with the leaders. Tell them where they can find all the local events. So again, this is part of, we don't overwhelm people on day one. Say, hey, here's a Facebook group. Here's a Facebook page where you get the events. Here's where you get your webinars. Here's some training. Here's Getting Started. Here's a guy you should be following. And all of a sudden, they got 20 links in their first email. What are they going to do with that? They're going to do nothing with that. So we take them on a journey step by step. Oh, by the way, your live event's coming up next week. You should try and bring 6 people to that. By the way, here's how you find where all the future events are coming up. You should go and like this page. And then explain to them why it is so important to attend live events. You're going to meet people. You're going to be inspired. Light bulb moments are going to go off. Your belief goes up another level. Remember how important that belief was. We're building relationships. The number one reason people decide to engage in the business and go all the way is at a live event. Okay, so, and plus we all know that live events are the number one way to convert someone into our business. So bring people along. And of course, we want to provide great service. So it goes without saying, don't just enroll people and let them go. Do this Getting Started training like a workshop. That's part of providing great service. Follow them up on the product. Make sure they're using it correctly, because if they're not using it correctly, like the Zen, for example, they might not get results, and that's the end of them. If you correct the way that they use it and they get results, they may become a huge distributor for you. Okay, follow people up, do what you say you're going to do, and provide great service to all your prospects, all your customers, all your distributors, and of course your leaders. Bend over backwards for them. And number 15 is just continuing to become a better and better leader every single day. Okay, now, if you can get up to a level 8, a level 9, a level 10 as a leader, then guess who's going to start joining your business? 7s, 8s, and 9s. You might even fluke a few 10s in your business as well. If you're a 1 or a 2 or a 3 as a leader, you're going to attract other 1s and 2s. And they're the sort of people that aren't going to do much. All right, so you need to continue to up and up and up your leadership. The way that you perceive yourself, remember, perceive yourself as a diamond, you will be a diamond. If you wait until you're a diamond before you start acting like one, it'll never happen. Ever, 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 ever. It's a bit like, a guy that's got no confidence. He's overweight. He's shy. And he says, you know what? If I can just find a really beautiful lady that loves me and we can get married, I'm going to lose weight for her and I'll get more confident and that'll really change my life. No. Do it the reverse way. Okay, go and get in shape, go and get healthy, go and get confident, go and get personal development, perceive the way you are, love yourself, and I guarantee you attract a beautiful woman and you guys will live happily ever after. So you need to first be before you can attract that, not the other way around, or you'll be spinning your wheels forever. It's so simple to become a leader. The big part about leadership is knowledge. So again, if you know everything about the pay plan, people will perceive you as a leader. If you know everything about what's in those books we just went through, people will perceive you as a leader. Just turning up to live events is leadership. Sitting in the front row is leadership. Helping set up the room is leadership. Doing 3-way calls is leadership. Very, very simple to develop that stuff. It's really just a matter of putting up your hand. And the best way to lead is by doing. So if you go to the events, your team will go to the events. If you're doing 3-way calls, your team will go 3-way calls. If you're enrolling people, your team will enroll. So whatever you would love your team to be doing, ideally, that's what you need to be doing. I see a lot of people get to Sapphire and they stop enrolling and think, oh, I've made it, went to the Noosa retreat, I'm a Sapphire. I'm just going to tell my team what to do from now on. And then your team just do what you do. So they stop enrolling and they go into management mode as well, even though you're telling them not to. They will do what you do. That's the best way to lead. And that's the 15 steps, guys. So to summarize that point, don't just give this to people and expect them to do it. remember, you're dealing with human beings and they won't do it, or they won't do it properly. So workshop this with them. That's my number one tip for 2016 to get your team on track, to build your foundation. And you can imagine if your whole team builds this foundation, then you can imagine how strong your business is going to be, how simple it's going to duplicate, and that's the whole secret to your business. There's people that have been in Jeunesse now for 2, 3, 4, 5 years that still are not doing this. 100% guarantee you they're not, because the people that I'm working with on my 3rd level, 10th level, 20th level are telling me that they've never had this training. And I know the people that they've enrolled with. So leaders are not workshopping this with their good people, and it gives them less of a chance of going all the way. So this getting started training is aimed at someone on day one today. All right, it's aimed at someone that's been in Jeunesse for 6 months because you haven't quite perfected the 15 steps yet, and you need to become an expert at that. And it's also aimed at all my leaders in my team that aren't workshopping this with their downline properly. And that's been the biggest feedback that I've been given for all of last year and the start of this year. And so I'm actually going to run a accountability and getting started workshop after the Noosa Leadership Retreat. I'll show you how to sign up for that later on. And it's going to be a 6 days of just massive intensity to get your momentum going. So if you're interested in signing up for that, it'll be 6 a.m. phone calls. It'll be midnight phone calls. It's going to be full on for 6 days. Because the other thing that I've worked out is, as human beings, we can't go flat out with our very, 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 very best for a long period of time. It's just not possible, and again, I don't like to say things aren't possible, but if we were robots, we could do that. As human beings, we're going to burn out, or we need to have a balance with our family, and we love to go and socialize. We love to watch a bit of TV, and all those things you can't do if you're going flat out. Okay, so for 90 days, for a 90-day focus, it's tough. Last year, I ran a 30-day challenge. Again, people were more focused, but still not focused. This year, I'm going to be running 6-day challenges, because we can go flat out and get focused, not pack our kids' lunches for school, not bath them, not shower them, not speak to our husband and wives for 6 days. We can go out without television, alcohol, whatever, for 6 days, right? And you don't really want to go any shorter than that. So I'm going to be running intensive 6-day boot camps where you're going to be kept accountable, and we're going to be learning some great tricks, doing some great activities together online. So stay tuned for that. Guys, I did have another PowerPoint that I wanted to run through with you, which talks about the mindset, but look, I've already gone for an hour. And I knew it was going to be a longer one today, so I won't do the other PowerPoint, but I will run that at some point in time as well, so stay tuned for that. So make sure you're staying up to date with the Facebook groups. You've got, what do we got? You've got about 9 days left to get to Sapphire and win a free trip to Noosa. That Noosa trip, everyone raves about for a whole year. You want to be there. We are going to make room available for everybody. So if you get to Sapphire, you are not going to miss out. I've got some other exciting announcements that I can't give you right this second, but starting in February, there's going to be something very, very, very exciting happening. As we get closer to the end of this month, I will tell you about that, but get ready for a massive February, March, and April. And make sure you know where to find the live events. Make sure you get people on the webinars every week, and get ready for all the big events that are coming up. The Australian conference. Keep qualifying for that Mediterranean cruise. If you buy one of those new gift promotional packs now, 5 points are going towards the Noosa trip, and 5 points are going towards the Mediterranean cruise. So if you buy 10 of those packs, well, that's 50 points towards the Mediterranean cruise. We all want to get on that. It's going to be a great trip. So, guys, it's going to be a huge year. It looks like we're going to have a record month in January for Australia Jeunesse, which is unbelievable. We've still got that momentum going. It's going to be an absolutely epic year with new product launches, new marketing launches. My business, I've got goals to go double diamond this year. and take 6 new diamonds with me. That's my focus for this year. I've got their names written down right now on a bit of paper in front of me of actually there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people that I believe can go diamond this year. If you think you're one of them, please hit me up and I'll work with you towards that. I've also got a list of people that I'm looking to work with this year, people that I believe can go sapphire in this business. I've got a list of people that I believe can go diamond over the next, say, 3, 4, 5 years that I'm working with. I've got a list of people with a little P next to them, which I call project people, which I believe have potential with a bit of extra mentoring can really become great network marketers. If your name's not on that list that I've focused on working with you, put your hand up, let me know. Happy to work with you in 2016. It's going to be a massive year, guys. Jeunesse is on fire. This is something that's helped me and my family achieve our dreams and thousands of other people, and I really believe it can be for you as well. Let's have a great year, guys, because it's all about living life on our terms. And this is just the vehicle, and we've got so many people around the world that we can help. So this has been recorded. I'll whack it up on our YouTube channel. If you found that it was some value to you, make sure you share it with your team. I guarantee you right now that without this foundation, your team is not going to be as strong the longer your business goes. Make sure you get it started the right way. Run your own webinar with this or get together and watch the recording of this, but workshop it with your team. Don't just tell them, show them. Okay? Don't just tell them, show them. Get in the trenches and get your hands dirty and workshop this stuff with your team, and it'll change the whole dimension of what's happening in your business. Guys, I've got to run. I look forward to catching you in Noosa in a few days' time. Ring me, email me, Facebook me. Let's work together to achieve your goals. See you guys.